We request all of you to kindly rise as the ceremonious procession is entering the auditorium. Kindly be seated. Respected dignitaries, faculty members, parents, and my dear young graduates, a warm morning greeting to all of you. I, Dr. Sabi Raj, and Dr. Diana Prem feel deeply honored to welcome each one of you for the 15th graduation day of Vinayaka Mission Sankaracharya Dental College. Graduation isn't the end of a tough journey. It's the beginning of a beautiful one. Today is a milestone. It tells us how far you've come. It's a day to rejoice. It marks the first step of you into the outside world that each one of you must undertake to open up another important stage in your lives. It marks both the ending and the beginning. It's the warm memories of the past and dreams of the future. Before we begin this ceremony, let us invoke the blessings of the Almighty. I request all of you to kindly rise for the Tamil Thai Varthu. Kindly be seated. Hospitality is unarguably one of the defining qualities of our Vinayaka Mission Sankaracharya Dental College. Our measurable hearts do become immeasurable when our guests are around us, both on the stage and off the stage. Thus I now invite Professor Dr. J. Baby John, our beloved Dean, to please come forward to formally welcome the gathering.
Distinguished Chief Guest of the Day, Professor Dr. Arvind Krishnamurthy, Head of Oncosurgery from Adyar Cancer Institute, respected Registrar of the University, Professor Dr. Jayaka, the Director of the Management, Mr. N. Ramaswamy, the Associate Deans of the college, the heads of the various departments, faculties, parents, and my dear young graduates. It gives me immense pleasure to stand before you on this solemn occasion. Although the convocations were done, but it was for the medal winners, it is something, a day where it makes you all happy to recollect your past achievements. On this occasion, on behalf of the management, university, and the Vinayaka Mission Shankaracharya Dental College, let me extend my warmest greeting to our chief guest, Professor Dr. Arvind Krishnamurthy, for taking his time out, a person who is very, very busy, from an institute which serves the people in and around, across the nation, above internationally also. As Ratan Tata says, there's a lot of difference between a human being and being human. I always consider the people in such institutes, eminent institute like Adar Cancer Center, who serves the really needy people and who almost, I would say, dedicate a whole life there for the people who are in real needs. So I am really happy to have on this day, and for you, the chief guest as Professor Dr. Arvind Krishnamurthy, a young, vibrant, dynamic personality who is always there at most of the hem of affairs, be it in surgical or in various super specialty academics and examination on the boards and the bodies, nationally and well known internationally also. So I feel that, and I have to acknowledge that we are really proud and we are all really blessed by a person who makes a difference to be known that how to be a human rather than a human being. So he is here amidst us to grace his occasion, especially the young graduates, to give you the insight about what exactly the professional body is and what exactly a service is, what exactly dedication is. This is what we have to learn from them beyond their professional skills. Humility, selflessness, and dedication. And the right attitude is something which we can learn from them apart from the skill of the profession as such. I'm proud to say that even our postgraduates of oral maxillofacial surgery is also getting trained under him in the Chennai Adar Cancer Center, and we are really blessed. I'd like to thank him on this stage at this occasion for giving us this opportunity of setting our postgraduate. Coming to our guest of honors, our Professor Dr. Jayaka, Registrar, who is always there to support our institute in all the fields, not only in academics, be it in any function, who is always there for a word of inspiration. You go ahead. That word is something which always motivates and supports us and strengthens us to take more of the initiatives when we are really in a time of confusions. So Sarah, thank you for coming here to grace this occasion. The next is our Director, N. Ramaswamy. Sir is always there with us for all the functions. Whenever I call, he's there. Don't worry, I'll be there. This is something that gives us a sense of satisfaction that a person from the management is there with us in all our functions. So I'd like to thank Professor Mr. N. Ramaswamy for having come here to grace this occasion. And all the staffs, I would have to acknowledge, especially the parents who have come here to see your wards, for the efforts what you have taken here, all the way from different places, the time you have taken out to see your young grads who is getting honored or graduated today on this eminent personality. So I'd like to welcome all the parents who have come here, who have taken the time out, and the graduates who have come here physically for the past 2 batches, who have come here to really get these blessings from these eminent personalities. With these few words, I once again welcome all the parents, especially the chief guests and the dignitaries on the dais, and my colleagues, my staff members, who are always there to help in all the ways for molding you, the graduates, who are getting the degrees today at all levels, not only in academics or profession. We take care of your other personality developments. Of course, there are other things which would have not made you happy also, but you will realize it later why it was done. To make a complete human being who is being respected by the society, not by the frame of degree what you hang around in your house or in your office, but looking at your personality, looking at the way you carry yourself in the society, looking at the way how you are managing or serving the people by your soft skills, by your services, makes a difference. And that is what we always strive for our graduates who pass out from our campus. And I'm sure we have done our best, but still life is a long journey. This is just the beginning for the young graduates, where you have to keep learning until death. That is what is learning. So I wish you all the best in the future careers also. Thank you so much to all of you.
Thank you, sir, for the kind words of welcome. Now it's my pleasure to invite Professor Dr. B. Jayakar, Registrar VMSDC, to felicitate the gathering.
Good morning to all. My humble pronouns to the lotus feet of our founder Chancellor, Dr. A. Shanmugasundaram, the trustees of the Vinayaka Mission Foundation, the Pro-Chancellor, Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor of Vinayaka Mission Foundation have conveyed their wishes to all the young graduates. The respected chief guest of today's function, Dr. Aravind Krishnamurthy, respected Director of Vinayaka Mission Foundation, Thiru Ramaswamy, my dear friend and colleague, the Dean of Vinayaka Mission Shankaracharya Dental College, Dr. Baby John, other teaching colleagues, dear staff members, young graduates, dear students and parents. Today is a memorable day for the institution as well as the young graduates, and above all, it is a memorable day for the parents of the children. I am seeing a glorious face and a relaxed mood of the parents, because now they are sitting in a relaxed manner that one of the responsibility is over. Made their wards as a young graduates in dental surgery. So there is a different stages in the life, dear young graduates. Your parents has hand-holded you till you became young graduates. Now you can stand on your own leg for your better future. As informed by our Dean, the Vinayaka Mission Shankaracharya For the past few years, they have made a tremendous developments in the organization, in the infrastructure and facilities level. Not only in infrastructure and facilities, they have improved a lot in appointing the human resources, and they have given a better knowledge and skills to the second graduates. And also, as I told that, they have created not only the knowledgeable and skilled graduates, but also they have produced human beings in dental surgery. It is important to note that apart from giving the knowledge and skills in dental surgery, they have conducted out of syllabus programs like giving various skills to you, and they have made you a human beings. So now you are ready to work for the society, to utilize your knowledge and skill for this dental surgery. As Buddha told, first of all, your health is very important. Once you have a good health, then you will have a strong mind in your life. Have a good health, work for the community, for betterment of the society, and make your future in a better way. Finally, one thing, you make your life better way, and when your parents become old, take care of them in their old age. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Professor Dr. Rina Rachel John, Associate Dean Research, to introduce the chief guest for us.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, faculty members, parents, and my dear students, it is my privilege to carry out my duty to let you know who this personality is who is representing the chief guest of today. Dr. Arvind Krishnamurthy is a surgical oncologist who has done his graduation in medicine and then went on to do his post-graduation in general surgery from Madras Medical College. He went on to do his super specialization in surgical oncology from Tata Memorial Center, and then went on to do his DNP and procured 2 fellowships in surgery. His dedication and commitment to the cancer work has taken him from being a surgical registrar in Tata Memorial Center to the professor and head of the surgical oncology unit in Ariad Cancer Center. He's been awarded many awards, of which the Dr. K.S. Sanjeevi Award in 2011 was given for his matchless dedication to the practice of medicine as a human service vocation. Apart from that, the most recent award was the Shishruta Award for Excellence in Medicine in 2019. He has also given the oration, the Geeta R. Gandhi oration in 2021. He has more than 200 publications in the national and international journals, and has contributed to book chapters in oncology. In addition to that, this you would think was the limit, because he's holding academic and administrative jobs, he is publishing, but in addition to that, he's also got a lot of oncology work going on in his research projects. He's got a number of research projects that are ongoing, which are externally funded by agencies like DBT, the Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University, the MCR, MRC UK, and many others. And when I just went through that, I realized that 50% of his research work is on head and neck and oral oncology, which is why I guess he's more closer to us. His interests are in head and neck, thoracic and breast oncology, but when I looked into the research work that he's doing, I see that 50% of his work is in oral and head and neck oncology. In addition to all this, he is also involved in academic training. Training MCH postgraduates and maxillofacial surgery postgraduates, among whom are, as the Dean of our institution said, we are proud to have our maxillofacial surgery postgraduates training as observers in his esteemed institute. Now, is that the limit? No. He goes on to do community oncology activities. He conducts a lot of oral screening camps because I'm sure seeing the despair and the devastation that oral cancer or any other cancer can do to the individual and to the family, he has understood through experience that screening and detecting at an early stage is better. So he's involved in a lot of community oncology activities. In addition to that, he is an examiner for MCH, DMB, and many other examinations. He's a very busy person. We are lucky to have him here today. Is that okay? No. He organizes conferences. He's organized many NATCON conferences, and the recent of which is he's been the organizing chairman of the Foundation of Head and Neck Oncology in 2019, which was held in Chennai. He's also an editor. He's an associate editor of the Indian Journal of Surgical Oncology, sectional editor of Indian Journal of Cancer, sectional editor of South Asian Journal of Cancer, and he's also a reviewer of many journals. He's obviously a member in many associations, the Indian Medical Association, the Association of Surgeons of India, the Indian Association of Surgical Oncology, and many associations, the FHNO, and many other associations. So from this journey that I have read out to you, my dear students, you understand that limitations in life is what you put. There is no limits in life except the ones that you make. This is a quote by Les Brown. And I think our chief guest of the day, Dr. Arvind Krishnamurthy, is an example of it, an exemplified human being of how you can stretch your limits. The sky is the limit, dear students, and receiving your certificates from such a personality, I think, is a great honor. Here you have your chief guest, Dr. Arvind Krishnamurthy. A loud applause to him.
Thank you, ma'am. As a token of love and appreciation, we request our Professor Dr. J. Baby John to present a memento to our chief guest, Professor Dr. Arvind Krishnamurthy. Thank you, sir. I deem it a pleasure to invite the chief guest of the day, Professor Dr. Arvind Krishnamurthy, sir, to deliver the chief guest address.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for doing the kind introduction. I think it looks like I've achieved quite some time, but quite a lot. But I actually feel a lot younger. I tend to relate to this a lot of the younger school kids and also the undergraduates as well. So thank you for the kind introduction. Registrar, Professor Dr. Jaikar, Mr. Ramswamy, the director of this wonderful institution. I can see him and I can see glimpses of the founder, and having been in this wonderful institution for the first time, I really have nostalgic memories of many other wonderful institutions I have been. Thank you, sir. Briefly interacting with you was reminded me of the history of this wonderful institution over the last 3 decades or so. The Dean, Professor G.B. John, and Dr. Reena, I think thank you for having me here. I think it's a privilege and honor for me to sort of be in this august occasion. Sort of first time I'm sort of wearing robes on the dais. I've had the opportunity of once having it off the dais. Somehow my medical and my specialty, super specialty missed out, but during one of the fellowships I could manage to wear these robes, and I think you guys are really lucky to sort of have this. And I'm sure at that time when I trained, we didn't have a lot of social media, so I'm sure that all of you also should have all of your images down on social media with this robe. It's a very, very solemn occasion. I must at the outset also congratulate you for whatever you have achieved. I think it's a very solemn, it's a very proud moment for you. It's also a proud moment for the parents or anybody. I'm sure that there would be many, many people who have actually sort of been instrumental in your upbringing. And I must, as the registrar said, that relaxed faces there. I know how examinations would be a little tense, but now I guess one phase of your life is now over, and you're actually ready for another innings in your life at this point of time. I must also congratulate the teaching faculty of the Shankaracharya Dental College. I think it's very, very important. I must tell you, whatever little I am today, of course, is thanks to Almighty, my parents, and more importantly, from the professional side, it's because of my teachers. I think I must say that each of your teachers have a lot of positives in them. As I was talking to the dean earlier in the morning, they were very excellent teachers at some point of time. Nowadays, what happens is a lot of them are sort of moving out, so very few of them want to actually stay in dental colleges and medical colleges. So I was fortunate to have wonderful teachers and mentors, and I must say that you must cherish, you must shadow them, try to learn a lot of skills from them, and I'm sure you would have learned that. Congratulations also to the various faculty also for having sort of made you whatever you guys are today. There is a popular quote which says that if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but if you teach them fishing, you sort of teach them a life skill. As our registrar sir said, it's not just important that you learn good things in academics, but also very important for you to learn a lot of life skills also, because it's not the most brilliant person who actually makes it good in life. You must have a good sort of emotional quotient also, apart from your intellectual quotient, to make it big in life. And very importantly, many organizations, like for example the great big tech companies like Apple, Google, they're not looking actually for degrees, but they're actually looking for some life skills. But in the Indian context, I must tell you that degree is very important, because it gives you a license to practice, and that's very, very important from the medical as well as the medico-legal point of view. So you all have had a degree, but I must tell you, but along with the degree, you guys have also some sort of responsibility towards your profession, and you must keep updating it periodically and try to get much, much more life skills new. I was actually wondering as to what I was going to talk to you younger graduates, but then I thought I would sort of focus on 3 important areas. One is what's actually the future of dentistry, because you all are at the crossroads at this point of time. Some of you all may be really, when I was training, I must say that I didn't really know what I was doing next. And I said, okay, now I'm doing this, then this, this, and so. But what I find right now is a lot of you youngsters are very, very focused. There is a degree, of course, some of you will sort of know exactly this is what I'm going to do next. But the vast majority of us are sort of, they are just sort of exploring the options. Of course, I read in some publications earlier that, in the Indian system, you do have a lot of dental graduates. How does the system sort of accommodate you? Most of
them are skewed in the urban areas. Very few actually percolate into the rural areas. Job opportunities are not that much in the rural areas, so people don't really know exactly as to how to go about. So in that I was also thinking, because I do interact with a lot of dentists across in our community work, I interact with a lot of community dentistry people, as Madam said, and the Dean also said that some of the maxillofacial surgeons do come to us for training. So I do interact with a lot of other people as well. And I do find that the market, at least from the dentist point of view, seems to be flooded. So I was just trying to sort of have a bird's eye view as to what dentistry would sort of be in the future. And I stumbled on some statistics which I thought which I should share with you as well. The other thing is, I must understand that, acknowledge the fact that you guys have been training through very unusual times and difficult periods, like most of you would have been trained in the thick of the COVID pandemic. And dentistry per se involves what is called as the aerosol generating procedures. I know because 80% of my work is head and neck. We do had a COVID ward when we were managing the oncology, and I had to do, say, tracheostomies or life-saving procedures for patients who were COVID positive as well. But then the fact is that most of you dentists and most of the people like us who manage the aerosol generating procedures are used to a certain degree of protection, right? So I think this is very, very important. It brought back the focus of actually having good hand hygiene and protecting yourself, as the registrar said, having a good health. So it's very, very important that you guys actually sort of take care of your health. And COVID has taught us a lot of these things as well. But there have been some other issues with COVID. A lot of people who may have otherwise wanted to come to the dental clinics may not have come to the dental clinics. So in a way, what has happened in the last 2 years have been a pretty dampening thing, not just for the dentistry, but for the medical and other healthcare profession as well. So, but then I looked into what the market sees and what the professional sees in dentistry in the year 2022 and beyond. And I must tell you, it's not just the field of medicine but the field of dentistry also, the future is going to be very bright. And I must throw some statistics out for you to actually make you believe that the future for dentistry in the future is going to be good. I was believed that the global dental market is expected to surge from 29.63 billion in 2021 to about 45 billion. And Asia Pacific region is going to be the area where the focus of the thing. So the market actually foresees a tremendous potential in the growth of dentistry as well. In India, I was told, and the market is expected to grow at a CAGR rate of about 7% till 2030. So people who think that you have been in a profession which is already flooded, the market thinks a little otherwise. They have a very, very positive outlook for that field in particular. And also the fact that the amount of revenue that has been generated also, and what India will will generate, is supposed to increase by around 3.6 billion by 2027. So going by the market, going by what the analysts tell, the future seems to be very, very bright for you. But having understood the market is one thing, but also to sort of see where exactly the progress in dentistry has to be made is another thing. And what I actually found was that the biggest drivers in dentistry in the future is going to be 3 or 4 fields. One is cosmetic dentistry. It's growing by leaps and bounds, at least by 10 to 15%, I think the growth. So I'm just giving you some ideas. I'm sure that you all guys have some ideas in your head, but I'm trying to give you some sort of information based on the market analysis of this field and where the field is actually progressing to some years. So cosmetic dentistry is one place where a sizable amount of progress is expected to happen in the years. Also the field of implantology is going to increase. It's already high, but there's increase will happen by around 11 to 20% in the coming years also. And there's also very, very new technology. When we were practicing, we never had much of technology. Of course, we do now have a lot of other technologies, and I'm told that even in dentistry, artificial intelligence is coming in a big way. even to identify caries in a mouth. Sometimes what happens is seasoned players like who are all here, you may actually identify caries by the visual eye. But then sometimes it could be little skewed. So you have artificial intelligence to actually identify caries. You also have, and we are working on some point of care devices also, which supersedes the naked eye. See, my eye, for example, I will be able to sort of, some person sees some lesion, but I see the lesion. By virtue of seeing it, I might be able to sort of more often than not make a correct diagnosis. But over and above me, if we are using artificial intelligence, and this is called as computer-aided diagnostics, the importance or the accuracy rates seems to be pretty, very high. The other field that is going to increase more is robotic. And robotics will come in a way in which, in the placement of implants, for example, the precision is important for you where you want to place them. So fortunately, I had the privilege of working with a robotic system. We had the 4th generation of the Da Vinci robot, and I was just interacting with the leadership of your center. So we actually use it for various surgeries, mainly the pelvic surgeries. I do it for thoracic surgeries, I do it for many other surgeries, but in head and neck cancers also, robotic surgery has come in a big way. It has come up for a field called transoral robotic surgery, and people who are maxillofacial surgeons who come to us, I think you can sort of be a part of a system in which we use. So what happens is nowadays there is a concept of minimally invasive surgery in which you don't really need to make bigger incisions. Previously, when I was training, what was said, the tallest or the biggest surgeon would make the biggest incision. Now it's not like that. Now your incision is actually so miniature, a lot of people actually sort of, it should be hard to find the incisions like that. And another concept is called nodes, where you use the natural orifices to insert certain instrumentations and try. And in head and neck surgery, we have the concept of transoral robotic surgery. I've used it once, and this is particularly in the field of what is called as human papilloma virus negative oral cancers or oropharyngeal cancers rather, wherein I find that the impact of robotics is quite a lot. So people who are maxillofacial surgeons who are trained with us, or people who are interested in maxillofacial surgery, you should sort of have some idea of robotics, because that's going to redefine the way in which we see we're going to treat a subset of the oropharyngeal cancers. And also regenerative dentistry. Previously what happened was there used to be a lot of focus on implants, and now they're trying to regenerate teeth by using stem cells. So these are the areas what I thought was, this is possibly the future of dentistry. These are certain focus areas. I'm sure that you have 9 broad disciplines. There could be many more considering the inspection that has happened. But these are some focus areas and individual specialties that I thought the market sees a potential, the technology sees a potential, because if the market sees a potential, it is because of the availability of technology. And the technology is there, and I must urge you all, you youngsters are much better at sort of, harnessing the potential of the technology, because you are already using technology for a great bit in many of our, and most of us use technology in our day-to-day living. So these 3 or 4 focus areas are there in which you can sort of focus, and also 3D printing technology, which is a part also of implantology, in which you use 3D printing. So that market is also apparently going to grow by leaps and bounds. So the other aspect is whenever, from here, what you want to do in the future. There may be 3 or 4 ways in which you can go about it. Some of them are risk takers, like for example, they say enough is enough. I got this degree, now let me pursue my passion and some other things. And I've also got some people with whom I have trained also. They are the civil services, so they are risk takers, and now is a generation of risk taking. So you may want to sort of switch professions and all those things. But if you feel the conviction that you are there, by all means go ahead. But for the conventional people, there are 3-4 ways to go, in which one is, of course, your higher education, which a sizable amount of you may want to go. The other thing is up to starting a career in your own. Setting up a dental clinic either now or later. I'm sure most of you would sort of do that considering the amount of time that you have come. I would urge you to actually pause at this moment and actually think why are you there in the profession? Whether you're there because somebody forced you to sort of be in the profession, or whether you're there out of your sort of willingness, or whether you're liking to be there. So have this thought process in the back of your mind, and then take a call as to how to go about it. A few other tips before starting any clinical practice in dentistry is, one is to create a brand of yourself. You have to maintain a trustworthy persona of yourself, and this is possible by honesty, integrity, and being passionate and disciplined in your particular work. The more important thing is to keep educating yourself, and as people said, this is not the end of the road, at least in academics for people who are there. I can tell my residents that I read much more now than what I was going to read, what I read when I was a graduate or undergraduate, because the science keeps evolving, the science keeps changing. And right now, to a large extent, what happens is, in your clinical practices, your patients, they come and record what you're speaking. Your patients may actually Google whatever is the problem and come. But believe me, by sort of being abreast with the latest knowledge, and I'm thankful that I'm a part of various guidelines. I was a part of the ICMR guidelines for oral cavity cancers. I was a part of the National Cancer Guidelines, which is incorporated with Ayushman Bharat Insurance Scheme. So what really happens is, if your treatment doesn't conform to a guideline that some of the experts, I may have given the guideline in oncology, but I'm sure that there are various other experts, then the insurance or the government will not insure that particular patient. So we are in a very interesting phase of life in which the government is going to regulate the way you're going to practice because of this insurance scheme. So I must tell you all that you have to be vigilant, you have to keep educating yourself. And to a large extent, what happens is, when people sort of, when my patients Google, I'm not worried at all. I'll tell them, this is what our experience is, this is what our publication is. You can Google certain more articles. So you must be so confident of your skills that you should be able to sort of take care of them. The other aspect I want to tell you is to educate the community as well. It's very important that you sort of educate the community on your own as well. And this is a part of, you can do it and optimize your sort of online presence also by sort of educating the community, which is, I think, is a very important aspect of the whole thing as well. And very often when I go, especially to the dental graduates when I speak, I talk to them about oral cancers, because this is the cancer which, as Rina said, I've worked quite a lot, quite extensively, very passionate about it. We are doing a lot of work on this. It's almost the 6th most common cancer, 8th most common cause of death. India constitutes more than 60% of the oral road. It's a very important public health problem. Two things I would request you as dental graduates that you can contribute towards lessening the burden of oral cancer is, one is to sort of involve yourself in tobacco cessation, especially smokeless tobacco. Try to sort of, we do conduct some WHO certificate courses for you, and I'm sure some of these are already available. So it doesn't take one long time to be a trained counselor. So studies have shown that if you spend at least 2 to 4 minutes particular to a tobacco user, the chances are there that the quit rates may be pretty high. So try to inculcate this practice. The other thing is to promote oral health, and by promoting oral health, which is a part of what the daily bread and butter, what you know, you also tend to identify the oral potentially malignant conditions and treat them if you are able to evaluate and manage them. Or sometimes if you wish to refer to us, you can refer to us. We are a comprehensive cancer center, so we will be more happy. But in case you are also willing to sort of treat that particular patient, we are happy to sort of partake. But let me tell you that oral cancer management nowadays is getting more and more multidisciplinary. So I think sometimes at comprehensive cancer centers, we do have many heads thinking about it, and not just one aspect of surgery, but we do have many other aspects of radiation therapy, chemotherapy, and immunotherapy. You must have heard that dramatic responses happening in certain tumors. So this is the little few thoughts that I thought that I should give you from the perspective of being a cancer surgeon with a special focus on oral cancers. I must tell you, we are doing a lot of work on oral microbiome, oral cancer diagnostics, RFA diagnostics, and anybody who is interested in research in academia, and I do found that 4 postgraduate seats are also, PhD seats are also here. I would urge you to, and handwriting souls. If you are really interested, I think that's possibly one of the way that you can go. And finally, I must say that the most important aspect is that you must take care of yourself and you must take care of your mental health. Mental health is a very, very important aspect. The Prime Minister has given a big focus on mental health. Even now, I guess there are some medical council guidelines and dental council guidelines for this. I see a lot of your faces are nice, bright and happy, so I'm sure that most of you, the college has taken good care of you, imparted you the best of the skills, but at the same time there could be some people who have some sort of mental health issue. So my only thing is that take care of yourself. As your registrar said, it's very, very important to take care not just of your physical health and body, but also take care of your mental health and body, because unless you are fit both physically and mentally, the reason why I'm telling this is we are a very high volume center, and I don't mind long hours of work or going to work without a meal here and there, but I do find a lot of the people who I train, they have issues of burnout. When we train, I don't know what's burnout, what's mental health issue, but I must say that I'm seeing it in a little bit of youngsters. So I'm just sort of advising you that this is something that you're in better times now. We do have people who are accepting that mental health is there. There are regulations for it. The government is acknowledging it. The institutions are acknowledging it. And so in case you have any such issues, feel free, because unless you are physically fit and mentally fit, you will not be able to make a big difference in things. Again, once again, congratulate the Board of Trustees, the management, the leadership of the Academics and Research Foundation, the Dental College, everybody for the opportunity. I hope by small bits of advice will sort of make a difference. And I must say that go into the world and serve mankind. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for those kind words of ideas and advices, which is the need of the hour for our budding graduates. The most awaited moment has come, the time to present the degree award to our young graduates. May I now invite Dr. Vanitha, Dr. B. Mano Vijay and Dr. Sunanda to please come on to the dais to read out the names of the graduates. The candidates kindly note, please come forward as your names are called towards the right side and leave the stage on the left and be seated on your allotted seats again. Thank you.